Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see everybody back. Halfway point in the season has passed. We are now in week 10. We're heading towards the cooler weathers, the advantage to the northern teams that are outdoors. Yeah, it's about that time of year. Quick recap from week 9. I went 8-6. 6 games. I got 6 games wrong, 8 games right. We had the Thursday night football, Titans at Steelers. The final score was 20-16. Steelers won. My prediction was 20-17. Steelers win. So, how close we were. Also, another close one here was the Cardinals over the Browns. I predicted 30-7. It was 27-0. A little bit close, but we're every week, any week, anything can happen. I got a feeling it's gonna come this year, guys, and I can't wait to have that so I can drop that video on how the game went. Other than that, brings my total now for the year to 78-58. And week 9 is wrapped up. Let's go ahead and move on to NFL Week 10 action before it starts. Before we get into our Thanksgiving mode here. Yeah.
Here comes the
78. Okay, guys. So bye weeks for week 10. We have the 2 teams that played in the Super Bowl. We have the Eagles, Chiefs, and we also have the Rams and the Dolphins are on their bye weeks this week. Funny note here: the Chiefs and the Rams are the only two, or Chiefs, Rams, and Dolphins are entering their bye weeks on a losing note. They lost their games, and the Eagles are going into the bye week without losing, so on a win. So 3 teams coming out of the bye next week, coming off of a loss. Something to pay attention there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with Thursday night football. Panthers at Bears. This is the second game the Bears have hosted on Thursday night football this year. They've got their first win against the Commanders. This time around, they're playing the Panthers. Still only have 1 win, and the Bears had the number 1 overall pick in this past year's draft. They traded it to the Panthers for their first round pick next year. So if the season ended today, I think the Cardinals would have the number 1 pick, but the Bears would have the number 2 pick because that's where Carolina would fall. So my heart is that Carolina really needs to win this game, wants to win this game. They don't want to have a worse record than Chicago because they know Chicago's gonna get their pick anyway. Justin Fields is still doubtful with the right thumb injury. Their rookie Tyson Bagent had 4 turnovers late in the game last week against the Saints, and they're playing. And he's going up against a pretty decent Panthers defense. However, the Panthers are out. Brian Burns is ruled out of the game, so they're gonna have to generate a pass rush here on the Bears. But I see this game going to the Panthers. Bryce Young was very unfortunate last week. He had 2 interceptions, both returned for touchdowns. If you take away those 2 returns for touchdowns, the score of that game, they lost the Colts, would be tied. So I think he is on the better end of the luck tree of this game. I think the Panthers beat the Bears here in Soldier Field 24-23. So a good opening game to start the week. All right, so now on to our Frankfurt, Germany game. The Colts at the Patriots. The Patriots are listed as home here. Colts at Pats. Gardner Minshew, like I said, the 2 interceptions to the house by Kenny Moore last week probably won them the game. They're going to play the Patriots, who have the worst record in the AFC currently. Their defense still always plays hard, but you can't trust their offense, especially not late in games. Mac Jones is pretty turnover prone, and their offensive weapons are kind of lacking production. Also, their running game has been struggling most of the year. So I see this going the Colts' way. They always play inspired defense. Also, Josh Downs, rookie receivers coming into his own. Michael Pittman Jr., solid possession receiver. And Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss. Maybe this is the game where they establish their 1-2 punch even more. So I can see the Colts beating the Pats here in Germany 20-16. Browns at the Ravens. These 2 teams already played each other. Ravens got the best of the Browns in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson did not play that game. He is going to be playing this game. But two of the top 5 defenses in the league right now, overall defense, points allowed. The Ravens are on a championship level trajectory the way they're playing defense. So at home here, hosting the Browns, Both these teams know each other. Going to be a hard fought, special teams all over the place. Lamar Jackson's got a great running game. And Myles Garrett's going to needs a big game. But even with these big players playing well, at the end of the day, I think the Ravens here are going to prevail at home. Take care of their division opponents. They've only lost one division game against the Steelers, so they need to beat the Browns here and stay ahead of all the other teams in the AFC North, which is a very tough competitive division. Not a single team in that division has a losing record or a 500 flat record. So I got the Ravens here winning 17-9 over the Browns at home. Packers at the Steelers. Preview from Super Bowl, is it 45? Super Bowl 45. Preview from Super Bowl 45 here. Packers at the Steelers. Steelers at home, coming off of a win at home. They have a long rest because they played on Thursday. The Packers finally got a win, but at the road, on the road in Pittsburgh here with Jordan Love, I see Pittsburgh coming out and dominating. I can see the Packers staying in the game. It's going to be an interesting matchup. See Jair Alexander on George Pickens, or Deontay Johnson for that matter. So this is going to be interesting to see. I think this is the game where Najee Harris starts to get going, and I think he eclipses 100 yards, and hopefully Kenny Pickett can have a turnover-free game. Still a lot of questions about that offense and the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, so they have their own issues, but I think this will be an overall good game for the Steelers. Packers are just still struggling. They don't generate enough. They need to start converting their third downs, and they also need to generate a pass rush, which they have been doing, but need to capitalize off of it too. But I got the Steelers winning here at home 31-19 over the Green Bay Packers. All right, and now we got the 49ers at Jaguars. Two teams. Jaguars have won, I think, 4 or 5 consecutive games. Both these teams are coming off bye weeks, so they've had a long time to prepare for each other. San Francisco, I'm pretty sure they went into the bye week 2 weeks ago on a losing note, so very, very not happy, I think they are. But honestly, I think the Jaguars here got their number. I don't think the Niners are fully healthy. Deebo Samuel still questionable. I think they're going to work Trent Williams back, but not rush him. The Jaguars have played very good on defense, and offensively, they've been sticking to a very good formula here. Run the ball with Travis Etienne. They have great receivers in Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley. So they're gonna be matched up with a tough Niners defense. But I think the Jaguars are gonna be put in a good position to make plays. And the Niners they're gonna have to fight. They're gonna have to fight because the Jacksonville Jaguars are a fighting team. So I got the Jaguars winning here at home in Duval County, 27-20. Oh, let's see what I did there. All right, guys. Saints at Vikings. The Vikings coming off the big win. Just got Joshua Dobbs in, traded him from the Cardinals. Going up against the Saints team that handled the Chicago Bears after the Saints were trailing early in the game. Taysom Hill, to me, is the key in this game. And I don't think the Vikings' run defense is that good. They've struggled most of the year against running backs. So I think if Taysom Hill carries the ball here more than 12 times, I think, and especially in the red zone, because he's very solid and good in the red zone, I think the Saints can handle business here. It's going to be hard for the Vikings to stop the Saints running game, because I do think they have a pretty good, pretty solid core. They can get after Derek Carr. Daniil Hunter is playing very well right now, but it's going to be tough, obviously. And the Saints defense is still playing at a pretty good level. So I'm going to say Saints here because I think Taysom Hill is going to be the focal point for the Saints offense in the red zone, because they know the weakness of the Vikings is stopping the run. So I think Joshua Dobbs comes up short here in his second game as a Viking. I got the Saints beating the Vikings in Minnesota 28-26. All right, Texans at Bengals. Nice matchup here. A young quarterback against a now veteran quarterback in Joe Burrow. Cincinnati's caught fire, beating good teams, Buffalo, San Francisco, and then the Texans, they beat the Buccaneers, came back and beat them in the last second. C.J. Stroud, 5 touchdown passes, over 400 yards. Pretty sensational. But this week's going to be a tough challenge. The Bengals defense are no slouches. Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, they come after the quarterback. They have good covering linebackers. But then again, the Texans, so far, they've played very well. And I think they can take advantage of the weaknesses in the Bengals secondary. Although for the Bengals, I think this will be also a game for them to really open up. Jamar Chase hasn't had that. He's only had one big monster game. T. Higgins finally had a monster game last week. I think this is where Joe Mixon asserts himself as well. potentially getting over 100 scrimmage yards and a touchdown or two. I see this being the shootout of the week and a game to definitely keep your eye on at all times. So I got the Bengals winning at home 38-34 with a hard-fought, very scary moment where the Texans could possibly come back here again. Could come back again. But I got the Bengals winning in the end, 38-34. All right, Titans at Buccaneers. Buccaneers have not been looking good, been losing, haven't won a game in a while. The Titans, the Buccaneers lost last week to a rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Now another rookie quarterback that has been, Mike Vrabel announced Will Levis, the starter going forward, is coming into town. And honestly, I think Levis is hungry. He's going to take shots. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. He's got some good players, and he's got Derrick Henry. And the Bucs obviously gave up a lot of passing yards to the Texans, but maybe they come into the game against the Titans expecting them to pass heavy, and they're just going to run it down their throats. I can see this happening, and then have the Bucs adjust in the second half, where Will Levis can open it up and start finding his receivers. So this could go both ways. It doesn't look good for the Bucs. I mean, they're still in the race for the NFC South. It's a very weak division, but to me, I think that's between the Saints and the Falcons. The Buccaneers are falling down to the level of the Panthers right now. It's going to be hard for them to win against quality teams. And I do think this Titans team, although they're starting a rookie quarterback and have made some changes, they are a quality team. Their defense is still pretty good, led by Mike Vrabel, defensive-minded coach. Very tough as well. So I think I got the Titans winning on the road here, 24-20 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lions at the Chargers. Chargers won a game at home last week. They're going to play again at home. Lions coming off of a bye, coming into LA. I think they're going to try and take advantage of their defense, but I think Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa can get after Jared Goff. The Lions play the stretch zone, and then they do run the ball. David Montgomery's come back for them, so it'll be between him and Gibbs. We'll get rotations. But the Chargers have been decent against the run. The Jets with Breece Hall couldn't do much against them. Back when the Cowboys played the Chargers, they hardly ran for, I think, no more than 80 yards. So this could be an interesting game. I think the Chargers can stop the Detroit Lions running game and force Jared Goff to beat him, which he can definitely put up numbers, but expect Jared Goff to throw a few wobblers in the air, and potentially the defense for the Chargers can get a turnover. Keenan Allen went over 10,000 career receiving yards last week. I think this is a game for him where he has a good matchup. Cam Sutton was their free agent acquisition for the Lions in the offseason. More of a nickel corner, backup corner, not really the main corner. So I can see him having a day here. And hopefully they can involve the Chargers can involve their rookie Quentin Johnston and get him involved as well. So I got the Chargers winning here by a point, 31-30 at home against the Lions. All right, Falcons at Cardinals. Falcons at Cardinals. So Kyler Murray is back and going to start this game for the Cardinals. It was horrible last week for the Cardinals. Didn't score a single point. Very rough starting a rookie quarterback. But now that Kyler Murray's back in town, and against the Falcons team who's in position to take lead in the NFC South in a race with the Saints, this will be my upset alert of the week. Because the Cardinals are, like I said, right now they would have the number 1 overall pick. I think Kyler Murray comes in here and shuts that down. He's going to come in, find his weapons early, use his feet. I believe he'll use his feet if he feels pressure, because he's a very smart football player. And typically he's played good at the beginning of the seasons, in the full seasons he's played. So this is technically the beginning of the season for him because he's coming back from the injury he suffered. So this is my upset alert of the week. The Cardinals are at home. It'd be good for their fans to see them win. The Falcons, very inconsistent. Even with Taylor Heineke inserted into the starting lineup, they failed to win last week against the Vikings. And this doesn't surprise me because they've drafted offensive weapons in the top 10 or in the first round of the draft the last 3 years. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and then Bijan Robinson. But yet none of them seem to be in the position where when you're watching the Falcons, these are their guys. You don't really know. I mean, they had more targets to Jonnu Smith than Kyle Pitts last game. Nothing against Jonnu Smith, but why draft the tight end 4th overall if you're not going to give him the targets in a game? So I think the Falcons need to figure stuff out. So therefore, I got the Cardinals winning here. Upset alert of the week, 23-17 in the desert. Giants at Cowboys. The Giants are starting. I said Danny DeVito on the last one. That's not his name. Tommy DeVito is his name. The Giants announced that they're starting Tommy DeVito and I would want to give him a 0 on this score prediction. The Giants 0, but last time the Cowboys and Giants played, they scored 0. It would be fun, but I doubt that they are left there. They don't score a single point. Because even if I can see it being like 28-0, but the Cowboys could potentially have a turnover themselves or give the Giants good field position. I think the Giants would cash in here. A game is in Dallas. Cowboys coming off of a tough loss. They need to right things, get the running game going here, and just reinsert themselves back. Because it wasn't a tough loss, but there are no moral victories in this game. So not much needs to be said besides handle business. Cowboys at home over the Giants, 41-7. All right, Commanders at the Seahawks. Commanders have beaten the Seahawks 2 of the last 3 years. They won in Washington. This game's in Seattle though, and a good matchup here between you got Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon against Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, the second-year receiver from Penn State. Very good player. Seahawks got embarrassed in Baltimore. Now, granted, they were on the road, but couldn't do nothing. Baltimore had over 500 yards total offense to Seattle's 150. Seattle definitely needs to come out here and show some life on offense. I think this is a good chance for them. I think it's a good chance for the Commanders too to air the ball out a little bit. Potentially try to run the ball. The Ravens ran the ball for 300 yards on the Seahawks. Maybe the Commanders try to do that and set up Sam Howell on some play action. Eric Bieniemy is dialing up that offense, so who knows? I think this will be a good game to watch. I'm predicting a lot of points here too. But since the Seahawks are playing at home in the Pacific Northwest, and the Commanders have struggled to finish games, particularly against the Eagles the last 2 times they played earlier this year, where they could have won and handed the Eagles a loss or two. I think they fall short here in Seattle. I got Seattle winning at home 33-30 over the Commanders. All right, we got the Jets at the Raiders. Raiders, heck of a story. Antonio Pierce, interim head coach, took over, led his team to a victory over the Giants. Now against another New York team, New York. Look at that. At home, the Raiders are at home. Jets suffering a bad loss. Horrible offensive play against the Chargers. I think they come out here against the Raiders and win this game because they're in this AFC East. It's the AFC North and the AFC East, I think, are the 2 best divisions in the AFC. So they need to stay with the keep up with the Dolphins and the Bills. The Jets do, because you can't exclude their chances. Although everyone wants to say that their quarterback is incompetent, no such thing. A new game, a new day, new week, new game, new everything. And this is a new opportunity for him to redeem himself. And I wouldn't even say it was all on the quarterback's fault when you have over 5 drop passes in the whole game. It's unacceptable if you're the Jets. And this Jets defense is no joke either. Don't forget, the Raiders don't have Jimmy Garoppolo. They're starting Aiden O'Connell, a rookie quarterback. Robert Saleh-led defense against a rookie quarterback. I tend to usually favor, obviously, we saw C.J. Stroud prove that different last week against the Todd Bowles-led Buccaneers defense. But I don't know. For some reason, I think the Jets are a little bit more stern and more stout. And they're younger than the Buccaneers, for example. They're a younger defense. Justin Herbert technically didn't have to do much because they were able to score early, their running game. But they didn't gain more than 280 yards of total offense. So the Jets are still technically playing good, although they gave up 27 points against the Chargers. But I got the Jets winning here on the road against the Raiders. I don't think Antonio Pierce gets his back-to-back games. They are playing more inspired football. The Raiders are. Max Crosby is playing at an Defensive Player of the Year level. Right now, I would say he's my front runner. He had 3 sacks last week, albeit against the horrible offensive line, but this is the NFL. It doesn't matter. You still have to line up and play. So Crosby here, I think his defense falls short 21-18 against the Jets on Sunday Night Football. And then finally, Monday Night Football, Broncos at Bills. Seems like the Bills are a lot of these primetime games, as are the Jets, as we mentioned. But Broncos here, I think, they're coming off a bye, and they finally got a win over the Chiefs after losing 16 straight games to them. I could see the Bills, if they're used to playing how they'll play, where they kind of mess around and don't finish the game and passing the ball when they're up 10, when they really just should be running the ball. I don't understand why Buffalo refuses to run the ball. But I think this game they do. They're at home. They need a win because they lost to the Bengals. They're 5-4. Their division is not an easy division. I know they're still top. They're not like bottom of the division, but the Buffalo has to get straightened out, especially a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Von Miller needs to get to par, and they're banged up on defense. The Broncos could definitely take advantage of this. if they scheme out a good game plan. So be on the lookout for this game. But I do have the Bills prevailing at home over the Broncos, 27-13. Just one of those situations where the Broncos can potentially move the ball, but I don't see their red zone offense putting the ball in. And I don't think they're going to be kicking field goals. They're going to try to go for it and be aggressive. But anything can happen. Those are my game picks of the week. As mentioned, the teams on byes are the Eagles, Chiefs, Rams, and Dolphins. So those are 4 teams on byes. So we have 14 NFL matchups this weekend. And one matchup on Thursday. So and then on Monday as well. So there we go. So 12 matchups this weekend. So there we go. That's week 10. And like I said, you still got to line up and play the games. Getting a win in the National Football League is hard, no matter who it is across there. Bad team, good team, it doesn't matter. You still have to win because you still got to line up and play. Guys, enjoy. Thumbs up. Do all the good stuff. Go check out the Shoelace Chronicles. Hopefully, we'll be coming with more one of those. Thanksgiving break coming up. Enjoy some turkey. Enjoy some food. I love you guys. Peace out.